Benny Andersson, born on December 16, 1946 in Stockholm, Sweden, was never one to seek the limelight. Unlike many musicians driven by the desire for fame, Benny was more interested in understanding the intricacies of music. Raised in a working-class family, his love for music began at a young age when he was introduced to the accordion by his father, a civil engineer, and his self-taught musician grandfather. Benny quickly developed a fascination with melodies and harmonies, teaching himself to play the piano by ear. His natural musicality was evident early on, and by the age of 10 he was already playing at family gatherings. Benny's ability to craft and shape music was his passion, and it was this deep understanding that would go on to define the sound of one of the most iconic pop groups in history. The birth of ABBA. From rock band to pop icons. Benny's journey into the music world took a significant turn in 1964 when he joined the Heapstars, a Swedish rock band often compared to the Beatles. As the band's musical brain, Benny quickly made his mark, penning hits such as Sunny Girl and Wedding. His ability to compose catchy melodies and arrange intricate harmonies soon garnered attention. In 1966, Benny met lyricist Björn Ulvaeus at a party, forming a musical partnership that would change the landscape of pop music forever. By the early 1970s, Benny, Björn, and their respective partners, Agnetha Fältskog and Annie-Frid Frida Lyngstad, formed a band initially known as Benny and Björn, Agnetha and Frida. Despite their early struggles, ABBA's international breakthrough came in 1974 with Waterloo, which won the Eurovision Song Contest and established them as global superstars. The sonic genius behind ABBA's success. Benny Andersson's contributions to ABBA went far beyond the spotlight. While Agnetha and Frida dazzled audiences with their voices and Björn wrote clever lyrics, it was Benny who shaped the band's signature sound. His approach to music was meticulous. He treated each song as a work of art, layering instruments and vocal harmonies with precision. Benny was also one of the first to experiment with synthesizers, adding a futuristic edge to ABBA's music long before the technology became mainstream. In the studio, he was known for his perfectionism, sometimes spending days tweaking a single harmony until it felt emotionally right. This attention to detail is what gave ABBA's music its timeless quality. Songs like Dancing Queen and The Winner Takes It All blend joy and sadness, a hallmark of Benny's emotional depth as a composer. The strain of fame, a growing emotional divide. As ABBA's fame grew throughout the 1970s, the cracks began to show beneath the surface. While the band remained a well-oiled machine in the public eye, behind the scenes, personal relationships were unraveling. The first break came in 1979 when Björn and Agnetha divorced, followed 2 years later by Benny and Frida's separation. Benny, known for his obsessive perfectionism, struggled to balance his personal life with the demands of the band. Frida, emotionally expressive and sensitive, grew frustrated with Benny's emotional distance, a consequence of his relentless focus on the band's success. By 1981, Benny admitted to falling in love with Mona Nerklet, a television producer. His revelation to Frida caused irreparable damage, and though the split was handled professionally, the emotional toll on the band was evident in their final studio album, The Visitors, 1981. The final years, a band drained by success. Benny's follow-up interview with Billboard in April 2025 offered even more insight into the band's final 2 years. He described the period between 1981 and 1982 as uninspired and mechanical. The joy of creating music had evaporated, replaced by the routine of studio sessions that felt like a job rather than a passion. Benny and Björn were still writing, but without the energy or enthusiasm that had once fueled their creativity. The music that resulted from these sessions reflected the emotional emptiness they were experiencing. Songs like One of Us and The Day Before You Came captured the band's inner turmoil, their melancholy conveyed through both lyrics and arrangements. These tracks were more than just songs. They were raw, emotional expressions of the band's collective exhaustion. Frida's heartbreak. From royalty to grief. After ABBA's dissolution, Frida embarked on a life that no one could have predicted. In 1992, she married Prince Henrik of Plauen, becoming a member of European royalty. The media frenzy surrounding her new life was intense, with fans shocked to see the woman who once ruled the dance floors now attending royal banquets and galas. But life as a princess was far from a fairy tale. Frida struggled with the rigidity of aristocratic life, which clashed with the spontaneity and emotion that defined her as an artist. In 1998, Frida faced the unimaginable loss of her daughter, Annalisa, who tragically died. in a car accident. The grief was overwhelming, and Frida withdrew from the public eye, finding solace in her quiet home near Lake Geneva. During this difficult time, Benny reached out to her, and the two found comfort in their shared past. Their reconnection was a quiet acknowledgement of the pain they had both endured. ABBA's surprising reunion, ABBA Voyage. In 2018, nearly 4 decades after ABBA's dissolution, the impossible happened. The band reunited. Benny and Björn, along with Agnetha and Frida, recorded 2 new songs and announced the launch of ABBA Voyage, a groundbreaking digital concert experience. Using motion capture and avatar technology, the band's 1979 selves were recreated, performing live with a 10-piece band in a purpose-built arena in London. The show was a stunning success, with over 1.3 million tickets sold by 2022, drawing fans from across the globe. ABBA had redefined the concert experience, choosing not to chase the old highs of a traditional tour, but instead creating something entirely new. Benny, ever the perfectionist, oversaw every detail of the sound design, ensuring that the performance was emotionally authentic and technically flawless. Benny's final reflection: music as survival. Now at 78, Benny Andersson has come to terms with the emotional journey that ABBA's music encapsulated. In recent interviews, he has reflected on how music served as his escape from the pain he didn't know how to express. "I gave my best lines to songs, not to the people who needed to hear them from me," he admitted, offering an insight into the emotional restraint that defined his career. Benny wasn't cold or distant, he was simply scared. Scared to confront the feelings that lay beneath the surface of his songs. This fear, this silence, is what ultimately led to the unraveling of the band. But in his honesty, Benny has given fans the closure they longed for. ABBA's music wasn't just about perfection, it was about survival, about navigating the complexities of life through sound. And now, after all these years, Benny has finally let us in on the truth. The music was always real, messy, and complicated, just like life itself.